Alright, so I wasn't going to make this video because I feel like I've addressed this already, but I've been talking to some of my friends, and it seems like, this thing is cropping up again and again and again. So, I was going to put some thoughts out there. I've noticed this trend lately in, some of the groups that I am or was a part of, where people seem unable to allow someone to just play the game that they want to play and have fun doing that. It seems as though, there are people out there that feel like they have to enlighten these people. They have to tell them what they're missing and how, if only they were willing to try different things, if only they were willing to do something that is maybe outside of the box or outside of their comfort zone, that's going to help them grow, and that's going to help them improve their game. And I've talked on this subject before, and why I think that this can be somewhat of a troubling attitude, because if people are having fun and they're saying, I don't really want to do this part or this thing, or I don't want to include this in my game because I'm having fun with my game the way it is now, people feel like that's not okay. People feel like if you're not growing in this hobby, that's a bad thing. And I don't agree with that. I find it frustrating that if I were to say, for example, I don't want Dragonborn or Tiefling in my game because whatever the reason, inevitably I would get people saying, well, by not allowing those things, you're missing out, or by not allowing those races, you could be hampering somebody's fun. Or, well, why don't you try it? Maybe it's just a misunderstanding. Maybe if you took the time to really read the lore, in the book about these races, you might really, enjoy them. Maybe that's true. But maybe I just want to play the game that I want to play, that I have fun playing, without a Dragonborn or Tiefling. And if you want to play a game that allows a Dragonborn and Tiefling because you have fun doing so, that's okay. That's great. That's what you should be doing. If I put out a game and I say, I don't know that I want to include, or not include, I don't know that I want to play a female PC because I feel weird when I do that, right? I don't want to do that because I feel like I will be a guy pretending to be a woman, and I probably won't do it well. You can imagine where this will go, right? That elicits all kinds of responses of, well, why would you limit yourself? That's, you can get anywhere from that sexist to why would you limit yourself to, perhaps you got to jump out of your comfort zone, to my favorite, which is do some research. And here's the thing, right? Those aren't necessarily bad points to make, right? Those are all valid. But what I'm saying is, I have fun playing it the way I want to play it. And when somebody responds repeatedly, over and over again, well, you should do this because it'll help you grow, or you should do this because it will enhance your game, or you will do this because maybe you'll find that you'll have even more fun by incorporating this. I understand that they're doing this out of a desire to help, a desire to make things better, but My fear is that what it will also do is basically give the impression to the person who posts that or makes that statement that what you're doing is wrong. Okay? And that may not be the intention, but I think that's the effect it has. You know, if I say I only want to play BX D&D because I like the simplified rule system, this, that, and the other, whatever, right? Somebody comes out and says, well, you should really try 5th edition because you might learn something, you might enhance your game, you know, all the same things that I've been talking about. Again, that's great, but if what I'm saying is I enjoy playing BX D&D, I'm having a satisfying gaming experience doing that, why are you telling me to do something else? Why are you telling me that I need to, it's not that you should. The real tone behind these is you need to experience other things. You need to grow. You need to improve. You know, you need to experience these things so that perhaps it will enlighten you. Perhaps it'll increase your fun or your enjoyment of the game or your understanding of the game, whatever. But I think what ends up happening again with these discussions is that it's one after another of, you know, either people or the same person just coming back with these points over and over and over again. And what ends up happening is that it basically is saying your type of fun is not my type of fun. I think you should have my type of fun. And if you don't, you're limiting yourself. And if you're limiting yourself, that's bad. And therefore, your fun is bad. Right? So here's the thing. I'm going to make a statement. And you can take it for what it's worth. You know, and if anybody wants to, you know, comment on the video, share the video. Chris, I saw you commented. Thank you for doing so. You know, feel free to do that. But here's the thing. Play your game however the heck you want. However you have fun doing it. If you want to seek out other things, if you want to try to push the boundaries and push yourself and you know, try to have these new experiences, then do that. That's great. If that's fun for you, do that. But if you don't let people make you feel bad for saying that. Okay? Let me give you an example. One time, this was a while back, I was trying to run I wanted to run a Wheel of Time game in which I was going to have one warder and one Aes Sedai. Now, if you're familiar with the Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan series, you'll know that Aes Sedai are women, and typically warders are men. Now, later on in the books, they kind of turn that on its head a little bit, just a little, and that was great. But I made a post saying I would like a female player to play the Aes Sedai and a male player to play the warder. And I thought that was a perfectly reasonable request. And what I found was that in the gaming community in which I posted that, there was a lot of hostility to that attitude. From the idea of why can't a guy play a female character? Why can't a female play a male character? Why are you limiting? You know, it was basically just skirting the line of saying that's sexist. And that was enlightening not because I felt like I was in the wrong, but what was enlightening was that the community felt like they had the right to tell me that my request was wrong. Okay? Most of my games are recorded on my YouTube channel. In theory, I do that because maybe somebody wants to watch them. And I thought that the viewer experience would be enhanced by having a female play a female character, a male play a male character, and the hopefully authentic interaction and emotional connection that those two players would have and bring out through their characters, that would show up on screen. But people didn't ask me that. People didn't say, hey, why do you want to do this? It was immediately, that's not okay, that's not fair, why can't, you be more open-minded, basically. That had a big impact on me. What that did was that showed me that the community, despite how they claim to be tolerant, despite how they claim to be very creative and accepting, really are not. Now, this was a small group of people that actually commented, and so I don't want to lay that claim on the community as a whole, but I've seen it over and over and over again with different people posting different things, saying, I don't know if I want to incorporate this into my game, or I don't know if I want to incorporate this into my game. And every single time somebody is saying, basically, you're wrong for not doing that. And the biggest single topic, or the biggest single point that they're making is, that's limiting, that you're limiting yourself, and that limitation is bad. So normally my videos, I try to play it very even keel. I try to, try to take the middle ground, but I'm going to make a statement here and say, stop doing that. Just stop. Instead of making statements like that, just talk to people and say, hey, that's really interesting. You're saying that, you only want to play BXD&D. What is it about that system that is so much fun for you? What is it that you like about that system? Try to engage them on that point. And then if you say, hey, I have a lot of fun playing D&D 5th edition. Now, it might not be for you, but would it be okay if I told you what I found fun about that system and get your thoughts on that? You see how that's different? Instead of saying, man, you should try this, you should try 5th edition because you might learn something, right? Essentially saying you're bad because you're not expanding your horizons. I mean, that's a big ego to say that, to be honest. Who are you really to tell somebody else how to play their game? So that was my piece. If you enjoy playing your game in a certain way, if you want to exclude things from your game, you want to include things in your game. If you want to foster a table that is very inclusive and goes out of the way to be politically correct and to create a safe space for your players, perfect. Do that. That is awesome. That is wonderful. If you are the kind of person that wants to create a table in which you can really push boundaries and really confront hard issues, things that are going to be really kind of graphic and tough and hard to deal with, and you don't want to institute these safeguards, great. If you're having fun and your players are having fun, that's great. If you want to play a fantasy game with no elves or no demi-humans at all, just humans, because that's how you have fun, awesome, do that. If you are a male player that only wants to play male characters, or a female player that only wants to play female characters, or vice versa, and that's how you have fun, that's awesome. Don't let people tell you that that's wrong. And if they do, challenge them on that and say, no, I'm having fun doing this hobby this way. I'm having fun because this hobby is all about having fun. Okay? So anyway, that's my piece. Thanks for tuning in.